To understand a supreme being, human logic usually hits a wall. If a creator is infinitely powerful, they must be distant and untouchable. If they are intimate and accessible, they must be limited in their scale. When we try to define concepts like absolute justice and absolute mercy, we inevitably run into contradictions. Justice demands a penalty. Mercy demands forgiveness. In human terms, you rarely get both in perfect balance. We are left with a struggle to define exactly who God is without minimizing one trait to elevate another. The Qur'an addresses this exact tension directly in the final 3 verses of Surah Al-Hashr. Looking at this diagram, you can see a single origin point expanding into 14 distinct nodes. These represent specific names and attributes detailed in those 3 brief verses. Notice how they organize into 3 precise, balanced pillars of Islamic monotheism. This is a specific structural architecture that maps out the identity of Allah, balancing infinite power with infinite closeness. The first pillar, the intimate absolute, begins, "He is Allah. There is no deity except Him." From there, God is the knower of the unseen and the seen. Nothing escapes. This knowledge is immediately enveloped by Ar-Rahman, a universal mercy physically surrounding all creation. This is paired with Ar-Rahim. While Ar-Rahman is broad and universal, Ar-Rahim is highly specific, a focused, continuing mercy directed specifically toward believers and seekers of truth. Pairing these attributes changes the experience of being known. While God sees every hidden flaw, that exposure is contextualized by a mercy that encompasses everything He knows. Moving to the second pillar, the focus shifts to governance, al-Malik, the sovereign king. Human political power is temporary. This attribute describes a true owner of all existence, a kingdom with no borders and no expiration date. To ensure that absolute sovereignty doesn't turn into tyranny, it is immediately modified by al-Qudus, meaning the holy and pure. This dictates that God's authority is structurally incapable of injustice, weakness, corruption, or dependence. Next, sheer dominance, al-Aziz, the mighty, alongside al-Mutakabbir, the supreme. But this heavy power requires an equal counterweight. The other side fills with intimacy, as-Salam, true peace, al-Mu'min, the grantor of security, and al-Muhaimin, the guardian. The bridge connecting this immense power and careful protection is al-Jabbar. Often translated as the compeller, it also means the restorer. This authority forces creation into alignment, specifically repairing what is shattered and restoring the broken pieces. In this theological framework, ultimate power does not result in tyranny. Instead, the names are structured to ensure that every exercise of authority is also an act of protection and restoration. The third pillar manifests divine will into the observable universe through a 3-step pipeline. First is al-Khaliq, authoring intent. Next is al-Bari, bringing the blueprint into physical existence. Finally, al-Musawwir, giving that creation its specific, unique form. Because of these 3 attributes acting in concert, no part of the universe is an accident. Every single atom, every blazing star, and every biological structure is intentionally authored, materialized, and distinctly shaped. A moment of wonder. The 14th and final point in the Hashr finale steps back to show the active response of the universe itself. Whatever is in the heavens and earth glorifies Him. The cosmos points directly to its designer. The text then issues a definitive summary. To Him belong the most beautiful names. Every perfectly complete attribute you can conceptualize exists entirely within Him, free from defect. This careful theological architecture is exactly why millions of Muslims actively recite these 3 verses every single day. Reciting these verses functions as a daily realignment of perspective. When human authorities cause anxiety, the text refocuses the mind on the temporary nature of worldly power. When secrets weigh heavy, they are entrusted to a mercy that already knows them. By internalizing the attributes of the Hashr finale, a believer moves from a state of uncertainty to one of reliance, finding a sense of stability that the